The Walking Dead has always kind of bordered on the idea of talking about cures and if they could fix the zombie apocalypse, right? We have, of course, when the group goes to the CDC in season one, they learn a little bit more about what it is and why it happened and so forth. That's also when Rick learns that they're all infected. And of course, he doesn't tell the group until the end of season two that they are all infected. And then, of course, later on in the show, we have when Eugene claims he knows what caused it all and he can fix it all, but obviously that's just a big lie. And fast forwarding a little bit more, we see in the spinoff show World Beyond that there are scientists still alive there, still trying to figure out stuff and hoping for a cure. My off-the-cuff opinion about this for The Walking Dead is I hope there is no cure in The Walking Dead. I hope there is no cure. I hope there's no more storylines really about it. And I truly just don't care about a cure in The Walking Dead. I think it takes away from the entire series, and I really hope they never go down that path. Yet again, I feel like The Walking Dead is going on some pretty thin ice here because I do feel like they're going to try and do a cure storyline, but actually do it comparative with like Eugene, right? I know there's a lot of people out there on YouTube that have talked about like, oh, Rick Grimes is immune and that's why he's been with the CRM this whole time. You know, they need his blood or what have you to cure people when they're bit or all this stuff. And I cannot express how stupid that sounds. Truthfully, think about that. How that would negate, 9 seasons worth or 8.25 seasons worth of Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead and just the entire universe as a whole for The Walking Dead, how it negates everything. It is legitly stupid to even suggest that. And I'm sorry if that's being a bit brash, but it is. The Walking Dead is not about curing the apocalypse. It is about living through it, adapting, and overcoming, not if you can save yourself with a cure. It is not about that at all. Again, I know that there's been storylines with it. It's been touched on throughout the series and also throughout the whole Walking Dead universe, but it is not about the cure at all. It should never be about the cure. It's about ordinary people thrust into extraordinary circumstance and how you survive and get through it and become a new person and adapt to your surroundings. It is not about a cure. It's the farthest thing from that. I think the best way that the show eventually, or the spinoff shows, or however The Walking Dead is going to end one day, the best way they can tackle this is tackle it like the comic book. So spoilers ahead if you have not read or finished the comic book for The Walking Dead, you've been warned. Pretty much by the end of the comic, the world in a sense is a lot more safe than it used to be, and that there's not really any walkers around anymore because they've pretty much negated them for the most part where there is civilization. Yes, of course, you know, there is spots in, say, the United States that doesn't have a lot of civilization, and of course there'd be walkers around there, but the main parts where there is civilization in The Walking Dead at the very end of the comic, they pretty much have knocked out all the walkers. Doesn't mean that there isn't some still out and about, and it doesn't mean that people also don't turn when they die. It's just by that point, people are so adapted to it and they know how to handle any of those situations. They just take care of it and it's not a big deal. Little sidebar here, that's why it's such a big deal when Little Herschel brings a walker into town as like a sideshow skit thing. Some people have gone literal years without seeing a walker to that point within the Walking Dead universe at the end of the comic because there's a huge time jump. It is that safe at that point. And yes, I know people talked about, well, you know, when you die, don't you turn? Yes, but people just know how to handle that if people turn, right? You know, say an elderly person passes away in that part of The Walking Dead, they just take care of it, you know? Or someone has an accident and they turn, they just take care of it. It's not a big situation anymore. It's just a part of life. Okay, sidebar's over. Getting back to, I really hope there's no cure in The Walking Dead. And I truly mean it because, again, it just negates the whole show. I think it ruins a lot of the sacrifices and moments of the show of, you know, how far does humanity get stripped back to survive in that world, to eventually they can create somewhat of a civilization that they once known before. There's no need for a cure. It just doesn't need to be in the show. It's not about that. It's never been about that. Please let this be the one zombie thing that we have in the world that isn't about a stupid cure. Let it just be about the ordinary people thrust into extraordinary circumstance and how they adapt to their surroundings, how they survive, and how they just get through it through grit and determination. I may be in the way minority on this one, and you may feel completely different, and that's okay. That's why the internet's here. That's why we're allowed to discuss about The Walking Dead on YouTube and other outlets, right? But I truly just don't feel like it would be good for the Walking Dead franchise, let alone The Walking Dead show, and I just hope that they never even touch on a cure. And just to circle back to Rick Grimes having the cure and being the cure, and his blood's the pure thing that cures people, because he was in a coma when like the apocalypse happened, so he wasn't affected by it, then he woke up in the apocalypse. Stop. Just stop. No. That is not a thing. That's not gonna be a thing. No. That is so silly to suggest. We're thinking way too hard about this, people. It is not like that at all. And I know Rick Grimes is a great character. Believe me, he's one of my favorite fictional characters ever. But the core of Rick Grimes, what makes him so incredibly awesome, is still at the end of the day, he's just a dude. He's just a person. He can be killed just like everyone else. Look at the comic book, for example. May I rest my case right there. So without dragging on this video too long, I hope there's no cure in The Walking Dead. I hope it's no big plot line in any of the spinoff shows. But we shall see here in the future. I don't know where they're going to go with this. I feel like they may try to do a cure storyline, like a real one. And again, I wouldn't be a huge fan of it, but we'll just have to see what comes in the future. So with all that said, what are your thoughts on having a cure in The Walking Dead? Let me know down in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.